This time I'd like to introduce the first speaker. His name's Dan L. from the Come and Get It group.
I don't know how this is going to sound. Let me get this right. Okay. I'm Dan. I'm an addict. My clean date is March 17th, 2010. As part of the process of the journey to get you to where I'm at today, which is right where I need to be, I need to talk a little bit about what it was like before I came to believe that there was such a place, the right place to be. Growing up, I always wanted to be somewhere else, have something else. Nothing was ever enough. Part of my problem with addiction is I want more. I'm never satisfied with what I have, where I'm at, how things are going, or anything like that. I always want something else. And it created unmanageability in my life at a young age. But as I began to age and move along, I found myself wanting to hang out with the older crowds, hanging out with my uncles who were smoking weed and drinking at the time, and I wanted to fit in and do what they did. And that just became part of the process. And it took me to a place I never thought I would be. Addiction took a hold. I did things I said I would never do. Ended up in places I never wanted to be, with people I never wanted to be around. My story includes some jail time, dereliction, degradation, glorifying degradation, and a whole lot of unmanageability. I began to use, I continue to use, and it ended up where I was living to use and using to live. That was all before I came to Narcotics Anonymous, though. I was introduced to this program in 2010 through the court system. We had been doing some things that weren't socially acceptable, to say the least, and ended up getting caught with a whole lot of things we shouldn't have had, and ended up being rescued that day. I traveled to the Allegheny County Jail, and I was just sharing this story a little bit with my people down at the cabin, hopefully to give someone a level of identification they may need to move forward in their recovery. It was uncomfortable. I had to learn to sit still, and I went to court with a few charges and came back with a whole bunch. They were talking about giving me a whole lot of time for a whole lot of things I'd done. I'm glad life wasn't fair, because if I got what I deserved, I wouldn't be standing here today with almost 4 years clean, carrying the message of recovery. The program continues to prove itself in my life. I ended up down the county, a couple of detainers, bunch of new charges. Was blessed enough to have a detainer modified to allow me to go into a halfway house program. And when I got there, I wasn't interested in doing a 45-day inpatient program. Tried manipulating that, telling them I didn't need that, I was okay. And God has a way of doing things for me that I can't do for myself. It was already decided before I had got there that I would be going to this 45-day inpatient program. Okay, I don't know how to get this thing no closer. Sorry about that. So, I end up in this 45-day inpatient program with some people that are still a big part of my support group today. I didn't know that at the time, but went to formal arraignment with 4 charges and came back with 13. They were talking about a mandatory minimum 5 to 10, my second major drug offense. And I came back and told the therapist that day that I wasn't willing to do 5 to 10, I was running. She said some things to me that I always remember. She told me that it didn't matter whether I ran or not, I was going to be waiting there, and that I needed to get clean anyway. She couldn't promise me that I wasn't going to do any time over that. And she told me what she could tell me was that if I sat still, completed their program, went to the work release program and did some of the right things, whatever happened would be less severe than it would be had I decided to take off that day. So for whatever reason, I'm still not completely in touch with that, I decided to sit still. Completed that program, did a little meet and greet with my next counselor, and he came by, and yeah, I don't know what else to do, Barb. I don't know what else to do, Barb. You know, Terry up here give me a hard time. Just trying to fit in, Terry. So he'd come and did a meet and greet, and they had these little contests and stuff where if you were compliant with the program and did everything you needed to be, you got your little picture up on the wall and whatnot, and you know, he'd come in. I'm feeling pretty good at this time. I got about 90 days clean or something like that, and he'd come in and said, "What are you going to do now?" I said, "I don't know, but I've been 100% compliant with this program." He said, "Oh yeah? You think that's enough?" I thought it was. Come to find out, it was just the beginning of this process. So I got transferred back over to the work release program. Been a few roles, but for the most part, did what I was supposed to do. Got a job, started going to meetings, got a home group, got a sponsor, and began to change my way of behaving. They told me that if I started to show up and listen, I'd start to behave differently and start to think differently. So I stayed there for about 9 months, and came home on January 12th, 2011. I pled into Allegheny County Drug Court's program at that time, and it was a standard sentence. Everyone who pled in got a 1.5 year intermediate punishment, followed by a year's probation. And as luck would have it, they took my wife away that day. She had to go start her time. Excuse me. So I'm home now. I'm clean. Things are going okay. Begin this recovery process on my own. Still continued to go to drug and alcohol therapy outpatient program until last month. Things get a little different when you get some recovery and you got some private insurance now. Talk about co-payments. Talk about deductions. You know what I mean? $2,500. I'm like, all right, well, I don't make $100 an hour, so we had to quit that. But the point is that I continued to do what I needed to do, and life started getting good, man. Like, I started showing up at meetings. I got the same home group. I got a sponsor. Got an amazing support group. Love playing with VZ back out there. You know, he's like my mentor in the program. You know, we got to play some Family Feud last night. It was awesome. But anyway, back to the road to recovery. I started to believe some things could work for me. I started doing some things differently. Became active on my home group. Got an H&I commitment with a house arrest bracelet on, clearing the metal detectors. Doors started opening for me. Stuck around, still did a little bit of construction for a while, just going to work, going to meetings, meeting with my PO, doing everything I was requested to do on house arrest. Completed that drug court program in half the time that I was supposed to. Got off house arrest at 9 months, did 6 months probation. I'm a welcome guest back there anytime to speak at their graduation ceremonies today. So as luck would have it, I have some other friends in the program who had been clean for a while, and started talking about, you trying to do something different, or you trying to help somebody, you looking for a job. I really wasn't looking for a job at that time. I was happy doing my little thing. You know, I didn't really know much about a supervisor and a director and paperwork and all that other stuff that went with a full-time job. But I gave it an opportunity, and I still do that today. I'm a certified peer specialist with a company in Catani doing mental health stuff. Had an opportunity to go and get a certified recovery certification since I've been clean. Opened a little recovery house in New Kent, and continue to help people. Everyone don't get it. Some people have to go. Some people get to stay. But this process has been truly amazing, and Narcotics Anonymous is a big part of it. Like, it's the center of my life today. I don't hide in NA. I have friends outside of NA, but I'm grounded in this program. I'm the Niasna treasurer for all 44 home groups. You know, gets a little hairy down there area sometimes. You know, we got some strong opinions up in here. You know what I mean? And you know, I can hold my own when I know the material. You know, like, I'm not intimidated. But when it was all over, you know, I hugged the guy. We can agree to disagree. This process continues, though. Like, the program of Narcotics Anonymous, the God of my understanding, and the fellowship have lifted the obsession and compulsion to use. If that was all I received in here, that would be more than I could ever ask for. But my life continues to get better. Oh, man. It's not even about material things. Like, the topic is you're in the right place. I didn't know what that meant. There was no right place for me. Everywhere I went, I wanted to be somewhere else. I wanted to have something else. You know, if we had a pow, I wanted a bigger pow. You know, if we hit a lick, I wanted to hit a bigger lick. Like, today, I'm not kicking doors down trying to find out what more will be revealed. I just walk down the hall and let it come. And it's truly a blessing. Like, you know, we can sit down there and play cards and talk shit, you know, pick on Beth and just do what we do, you know what I mean? And life is good. We're right where we need to be. And it's only through this program and being involved, I can't stress that enough, service work, our area struggles. We really struggle. It's a big part of what I do. I didn't know anything about service work before I got here. I know a whole lot about taking stuff from you. I didn't know very much about giving you something without expecting nothing back. Uh-oh, Julie's in the house. And now I want to talk a little bit about the ripple effect that Narcotics Anonymous has had on people in my life. Not only do I have new associations, people who are not using and find a new way to live in my life, but it has blessed me with repairing some of the relationships with people that were in my life that I said I cared about. I didn't act like I cared about. None of my behavior demonstrated that I cared about it. But some people very close to me, I don't know, a handful of them, have got clean. And we do this together. Not just the people that I used to get high with out in the street and come in here and see them were there, like people that I'm close to have turned their life around. As a direct result of this program, and maybe a little bit of watching what everybody else does. Like, the ripple effect has been amazing. I'm truly blessed for that. Now I'm going to get to the family members. This is still a struggle. You know, we were just talking about this. About the cabinet being the one who can take responsibility and accountability for someone else's job, who can't get this program yet. And that's only through showing up, taking some suggestions, and doing what some other people told me to do. I had to learn how to do some things that I really didn't want to do, and learn how to not do some things that I really wanted to do. Got me jammed up a whole lot of times just doing what I wanted. Today I'm able to just sit still and see how things go. I don't have to interrupt the normal flow of life. It's not about me sticking my hands in the middle of everything. And sometimes that's hard. When there's people I care about who are unable to get this program, I just got to step back and turn them over to someone else who's not so emotionally involved. I don't know. Let me see how much time we got here. Welcome. The program of Narcotics Anonymous continues to prove itself all across the world. It has carried the message of hope. It has fulfilled its promise to me that an addict even this addict can stop using, lose the desire to use, and find a new way of life. I never thought that was possible. Like, I didn't know how someone was just all right with being right where they're at. We've been able to acquire a few things. It's not about those today. I try to stress that to people that I'm working with in my work. I'm not impressed by your shoes. Y'all got some nice vapors out there. But it's really not what it's about for me. Paul, I don't know about that shirt, man. I don't even remember what it said, but he didn't ride me all day. I ain't got the Under Armour shirt on, but I got the Nike shirt on up here for y'all. But that's as good as it gets. Like, this is a recovery. I'm not out there fronting. Like, I really don't put on no fake show. Everyone that knows me knows. This is me. I got some areas I want to improve on. If I ain't working on that, I ain't working on that yet. But I tell you, I am working on not taking the first one day at a time, 1 minute at a time sometimes. But it has gotten easier because my focus isn't on that stuff anymore. Truly, I have other interests in my life. I've been able to do some things that I never thought possible. And the journey will continue, and more will definitely be revealed. And I'm okay with whatever comes. I don't know where I'm going to be at for 2 years. I know I don't want to be doing what I'm doing right now for work. I'm going to build me one more house. I don't know where at. But I'm not rushing it. This program has allowed me to be in position to take what comes along and make the most of it. And when things don't go my way, I just got to be all right with that. And that's the hardest thing for me. Like, I wanted what I want, when I want it, as soon as I can get it. Matter of fact, I needed it 5 minutes ago. I don't know what took you so long to bring it here. But, I'm not even in that mindset today. That is the biggest change in my recovery. Like, I'm able to just be the first one at work. Maybe be the last one to leave, and just do what I'm supposed to do. I don't work the perfect program, but it's worked for me for, I forget how many days. She told me last night when I registered, 1,348 or something like that. One day for me was truly a miracle. And what I want to say is that, the program truly does work. And I hope I can provide a level of identification someone may need to move forward in their recovery. I just got done speaking to a young man before I came down here about some things that are coming up. And I was able to share with him the same advice that the lady told me in rehab almost 4 years ago. Sit still. Don't take nothing. Face what you got to face. Don't create no more chaos. And I can't tell you ain't going to do no time over it, but I can tell you it's going to be less severe if you continue to do the right thing. And if you got to do some time, you ain't never got to do any more. This can be the last one. You never have to use again. Thank you.
Good job.